Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me today on the Rosse Bespoke channel. Today I'm talking to Alan Grimes, a man who's one of the most popular and influential figures in the Scottish hotel industry. He's the chairman of the Scottish chapter of the Gold Keys Concierge, and he's worked for some of the country's most luxurious and exclusive hotels. He's the winner of the Concierge of the Year and the Clay Door Service Through Friendship Award. And I think I'm right, you can tell me, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty rare, isn't it, to win both of those titles, isn't it, Alan?
I think, and I might be wrong, but I think I'm still the only concierge in the UK to have won the both. But
well, that's more than rare, it's unique.
Well, yeah, pretty unique. Thank you for the welcome. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. It's absolutely brilliant to be in such auspicious company. Thank you for taking the time.
I had to put a lot to one side to be able to make it this evening. I'm sure you'll understand.
No doubt, no doubt. So being a concierge is, or more to the point, being a Clay Door concierge is yes, very special. So you need to be a concierge for at least 5 years, I believe I'm correct, before you even be considered for membership of the famed Clay Door. I mean, why is that? Why is it such an exclusive club?
Well, as well as we want to make sure that any applicants, as well as having the knowledge, the experience, that they also have, I suppose the key ingredient is that they have integrity. And you're right, absolutely right in saying that once they've done their 5 years behind a desk of a good hotel, a good 4 or 5 star hotel, they can then apply or start the process to apply to become a member. They also need to have 2 Golden Keys concierge who can put them forward, 1 proposer, 1 seconder. They have to write, do a half a page about why they would be, a good Golden Keys concierge, and then we invite them in for an interview, and it's quite painstaking. And during that interview, their integrity and their experience and their skills will be put to the test. And they don't pass that test, then they won't be getting their concierge, their Golden Keys. Just then, they will get an opportunity to reapply. But yeah, so it's all about the integrity and making sure that the people who are wearing those keys are fit to do so.
And when you think about that, that's really amazing. So I don't know how many of the people watching this will know of that process. So when they come into a hotel and they see someone there with those gold keys on the lapels, they'll understand the graft that's gone into achieving that now.
Well, I hope so. There's only across the planet, there's 4,000 or just over 4,000 Les Clef Door members. Just less than 400 in the UK. So when you take it, the 60 odd million population, it's a small number. So yeah, you're right. If you walk into a hotel and you see the guy behind the desk with the golden, Le Clay Door with the golden key, lapels on his, emblems on his lapel, then that guy or that lady has, they've done some serious work to get there.
That's brilliant. I mean, that's even rarer than butlers. And that's saying something.
Yeah, but you know yourself, I think one of the very many similarities between the two is you get better the older and the more you do in a job. So you can get to be a concierge after 5 years or a butler after however long. But ultimately, the more you're in the position and the more experience you get, the better you become. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah,
no, very true, very true. And that leads me very nicely to my next question. So can anybody be a concierge, or is it only a specific kind of person?
Anyone can become a concierge, absolutely. there's becoming a concierge and writing a box and ticking a box. Sorry, and there's becoming a concierge who is, he's really going to make it in 5-star properties. There are, distinct similarities, I suppose, a job spec to become a really good concierge.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be, part detective, part psychotherapist, part housekeeper, part there's any number of skills that you need to really make it as a concierge, I believe.
So what do you think it takes? What does it take to be a great concierge? Not just any concierge, but a great concierge.
I think you've got to have listening skills. You've got to have empathy. You've got to be able to put yourself in the person in front of you, or on the end of a phone or in emails. Put yourself in their shoes. And people aren't always great at telling you exactly what they need. Sometimes you have to be able to read between the lines to find out exactly what they need. And sometimes, you have to maybe point them in the right direction because, they're kind of edging towards what they want, but they're not quite sure. And I think that difference of being able to tell a person, sometimes you have to be able to sum a person up. They walk to you from 10 feet away, and you have to make a snap decision on maybe that kind of person, maybe with the likes, dislikes, and it's not something that you're going to pull up on your first day on the desk. These are things that that come to you over years of experience.
Oh, I mean, I can totally know where you're coming from there. It's a very similar skill set to a butler. You have to be able to anticipate what someone's going to want and want you to do for them. And I think that's probably true across a lot of different industries, but you're certainly at the sharp end of that. Yeah.
Well, and you'll know yourself as a butler. We're both, as you say, at the very sharp end. And there's no kind of there's no warm up, there's no foreplay. We're straight into it. The guest is in front of you, and they make their demands there and then, and you have to come up with the answers, with the goods.
Yeah. I mean, do you think? And so, do you think that guests know what they can ask you? Do you think they know how they can best utilize a concierge?
That's a great question, and I think most concierges will share my thoughts that we're a very underutilized part of the hotel experience. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of guests in some ways maybe feel a little bit intimidated, and they will go to the receptionist to ask them questions. And I think they're missing a trick, and it's an issue that right across the board. I speak to colleagues, concierge colleagues around the globe, and we share that same feeling. So I suppose our job, and something that we're all trying to do as an ongoing process, is to make ourselves available to the concierge, to the guests. And what we've done by that is, historically, the concierge will always be behind the desk. You'll find more and more nowadays that concierges will come behind and just start chatting to guests on the hotel floor. And it's down to us to almost make that first step and introduce ourselves and let guests know how we can help them. So that's our challenge, and one we're quite enjoying, and we look forward to doing again once the hotels reopen.
Well, yes, there is that. But so I'm absolutely fascinated by that, and I can totally see it. I mean, I know that in the past I've been guilty myself of trying to sort something out, and then suddenly realizing, hang on, downstairs there's a concierge who's the ideal person to ask this question. Why
Yeah.
didn't I go straight to them? And I
Yeah.
don't even know why I didn't. So I can't even.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a common phenomenon, you know, and I'm not quite sure what it is. I think in the olden days, you know, when I started in the industry 30 odd years ago in London, the majority of our guests were, you know, very wealthy, high-end Americans, and they knew they knew that, you know, if you wanted a question, you would go to the concierge. The whole demographic has changed. You know, we've got the emerging markets coming through from, you know, from India, from the Far East, you know, your Brazil, your Turkish, all these people who, with this kind of new money, who are coming into hotels maybe for the first time, or they've only recently started, and they're still to find the benefits of what exactly the concierge can bring to them. You know, a lot of people will think that, you know, they can go onto TripAdvisor or go onto the internet and find the best restaurant in town, and you know what, you can't.
No.
If you want, you know, when I talk about a guest walking up to the desk and we make a snapshot of what they are, and also of what restaurants they might like, of how they might enjoy their time in our cities. And, you know, someone will come and ask about a restaurant, and I'm not just going to say that the nearest one that comes to mind. I'm going to have a look, I'm going to have a think, and I'm going to recommend a restaurant that I think they will really really enjoy the whole experience. And, you know, that's what the golden keys are. That's me kind of putting every time I make a restaurant or any kind of recommendation to my guests, I'm putting myself on the line. You know, if they come back to me and say, what kind of a place was that? Then, you know, I've failed and I haven't done my job. So, you know, for me, there's a lot at stake whenever I make a recommendation to a guest.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that tells everyone watching that. I think that statement you've just made there about when you make a recommendation, you're putting it on a line. I think on the line, that will make people understand that you're taking such personal responsibility for this. You're certainly not the equivalent of just Googling it. You're a human being suggesting something to someone, and that means a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about the best restaurants as well, which makes me think of my next question.
Okay.
Concierge is often portrayed, you know, in the films and books, very glamorous, knowing every club, every bar, you know, maybe living the high life themselves. How do you think that fiction compares with reality?
Well, I'm always absolutely flattered when you know, if people have that opinion of us, and I know that, you know, in my various hotels that I've worked in, from London to Cameron House to the Blytheswood, that people will come up to me and say, "What a fantastic job you've got." You know, you just kind of, you swan around this lobby, just kind of directing people, and I take that as a compliment, and I think we all do. But the truth is not even close. I think to make anything look simple involves a huge amount of work, of preparation, behind the scenes. And it's the old swan analogy, you know, on the surface we're just kind of gliding along, but, you know, underneath the water, the little legs are going 10 to the dozen. So I'm happy for people to have that perception of us, and don't get me wrong, we're very lucky in that we do get to sample some fantastic restaurants, some fantastic opportunities that our guests will in turn, you know, get a chance to indulge themselves in. We go on congresses in many different countries around the planet, and yeah, we get, you know, we're lucky. There is an element of our job that allows us to live that high life, but for for the majority of the time, we've got, you know, kind of head down and, you know, we're grafting, we're working hard for our guests.
So, yeah, so basically it's a good job. It looks glamorous because you're in this wonderful, beautiful surroundings. But like anything, to make it good, you've got to work hard at it.
Absolutely. Nothing good ever comes easily.
This is
and,
true.
If people want to believe that, you know, it all just comes easier, then even better. But between you and me and anyone who's listening, it's there's a lot of work involved to make things look simple.
So, well, I do. I'm hoping I haven't put anyone off by you hearing about what hard work it is. But if someone wants to become a clay door concierge, you know, to be the very top concierge, what should their first steps be? What should they do?
Well, if they're working in high-end properties, they'll be working with Golden Keys concierges, I would guess. If they're not, then they've got to take a slightly different route. As in, you know, they've got to go on a website and download all the particulars and get to know other concierges who can propose them or second them. But I think, yeah, most people who are going to go towards you know, their Golden Keys and a life in kind of conciergery, if you like, will be working with other concierge. And I would urge them just to learn from these guys. You know, they've got a wealth of experience and they know things that no one else in the hotel will know. So, yeah, the first steps is to learn from the guys that you're working with. Sometimes, you know, the things that they don't do so well are maybe the best lessons. But yeah, for the best part, learn from your peers. Reach out to the wider society and ask for help. We're very good in I was going to say in Scotland, but also in the UK. You know, I get lots of my colleagues and friends from London who will contact me because their guests are coming to Scotland. And they'll put, you know, it might be that, you know, they might not be staying at my hotel, but they will call me and ask for, you know, which is the best restaurant, where should I send my guests? You know, they're staying in an Airbnb, for example, but they're asking me for assistance. So we're a society that is there, you know, for everyone. It's all about service through friendship. So we're all about, we believe as a society that we're stronger together. So, you know, reach out to the wider group, and if you don't know a question, and we all have questions that we don't know, you reach out and find someone who does.
So I'm thinking, now I'd like to bring it right back to, you know, this question, but I'm thinking about a boy or a girl, they're fresh out of school or maybe catering college or something like that. And they've seen you and the equivalent in these 5-star hotels, and like, that's what I want to be. What do you think their first step? Do you think they should, should they go for a job as a receptionist or as a bellboy, or, you know, what do you think the first on that long journey?
Well, yeah, I would urge them to get on the shop floor in one way or another. It's funny enough, as you mentioned, someone coming from school. When I was at Cameron House, we had set up an apprenticeship, a concierge apprenticeship. It was the first one ever. You know, there's lots of apprentices in Scottish hospitality, but this was just for concierge. So I'd set up, it was a 2 plus an extra year's apprenticeship for someone. Unfortunately, you know, things at Cameron House didn't quite go to plan. Unfortunately, we all know what's happened there. But yeah, I was looking forward to kind of rolling out this apprenticeship, and it would have been fantastic. And for a young person to come into the industry, that would have been, you know, a great window and a great door into the industry. Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, get onto the shop floor of it. If it means that you have to come in via reception, then so be it. If you can make it as a bellboy, if there's an opportunity there, then go for that too. when I first started in the industry in London at 17, I was too young to be I wanted to be a luggage porter. That's always where I wanted to go down that route. But I was too young, so I started as a banqueting porter.
Mhm.
And, you know, I did my, however long it took, and then applied for and got a job as a luggage porter. And that kind of started my concierge career, if you like.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. I mean, I love it when people work their way up. I mean, that's myself. I started as a KP. I was to be the luggage porter by day, and then the KP in the evening. Started when I was 14. I think they paid me about 20p an hour or something. I can't remember, but you know, it wasn't not much. But it gave me,
none of those minimum wage.
Yeah, but very
That they
minimum.
get
Yeah.
now.
I remember when someone used to give me £1 for carrying their bag up. I was really happy, you know. But
and that was how and they still do now.
Yeah. There's no inflation for that. Yeah, get yourself a drink.
Yours is a great story as well, from where you started to, you went to Leeds Castle?
Leeds Castle in Kent, yeah. So
that's a great story as well.
I mean, and to us, that's why, and it's similar to what you were just saying, that's why I've tried to bring in my apprenticeship with the free butler school. And doing these videos as well to try and like help people into the industry, because I know it's difficult, especially now, because you know, people don't employ people as apprentices. They don't want to take the time to train them quite often. Some people do, but a lot of people don't.
True.
So it's wonderful to hear that's something that you sort of try and get behind as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great industry. And me personally, it's given me, you know, a great livelihood. It's opened up, opened doors that I would never have been able to step through. And yeah, I've had a great life. So I would recommend it wholeheartedly. And don't get me wrong, it's hard work, and you know, you have to come into it eyes wide open. But yeah, if you have the necessary work ethic, if you can look up and you know, you can see, you know, what you'd like to be. It might be a Golden Keys concierge. It would more likely be a hotel manager, but it offers you a great life, I believe, anyway.
Yeah, no doubt, absolutely no doubt. I mean, and I'm seeing like, I mean, there's so much synergy between the role of a concierge and the role of a butler. I mean, a lot of what you were saying, either of us could have been saying it about the other career. Is that similar?
Absolutely, totally agree.
But
totally
I mean,
agree.
What do you think the main similarities are, in your opinion?
I think, and it's a part of the Les Clef motto, is that unless it's, you know, illegal or immoral, we never say no. And I think that's the same with you. You know, if one of your guests, you know, they're the very high end, they're used to getting what they want, and you know, they don't take no for an answer. And you know, anyone else in the hotel, I suppose, will be able to say, no, sorry, we can't do that, or we can't fit you in, or we can't upgrade you. Or for me, I have to deliver. Yeah. And again, what we touched on before, it's that pride. You know, if someone comes to me and say, you know, I asked the Golden Keys concierge, I want to be able to say that I delivered. Sometimes you have to kind of go down slightly different routes, or you know, kind of move in slightly different ways. But ultimately, we have to give the guests what they deliver. So I think that's probably the biggest similarity between our two jobs. But I agree, there's a complete synergy between the two professions.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? That reminds me of, I don't know if you'll remember this, but when was it? Last year, or maybe it was even the year before, when you helped me out. When I had, obviously, I'm not going to say who it was, but a very top A-list celebrity that I was looking after. This was during Edinburgh Fringe Edinburgh
Yeah,
Festival.
no pressure there.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'll just tell the people what was going. This is the background, okay? So I'm looking after A-list celebrity. We're already in the afternoon. They say they want dinner in Edinburgh. So, well, okay. I mean, it's very busy at the moment, you know. And then they're like, but we want it. It's got to be a top restaurant. Okay, yeah. There's 18 of us, right? Okay, 18. We need a view over Edinburgh with a window, and it needs to be divided off from other diners so we don't get pestered. And we want it at like 12 minutes past 8 or something like
Yeah,
that.
I remember it well.
and I mean, that's what it's like. I mean, I just said to them, well, yes, of course, no problem. And that's when I started making phone calls, you know.
But that is, for me, that was meat and drink for me. You phone me up, ask that question, and you know, a challenge. And every good concierge loves a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
We should have touched on that before. That's probably you know, a big part of the job, that when you get that question, that request, that challenge, you know, you have to have that tenacity to really deliver it. And you know, that's what we take pride in. And I love that when you call that. Now, if you remember, I called you back in 5 minutes and said, they can take you, you know, this is the number you need to speak to. They're waiting for your call.
Yeah.
And that's when we, you know, that's what we can deliver that, you know, your average receptionist or anyone else in the industry can't. And we get that because of our, you know, our network.
Yeah. And it was literally a theoretically impossible request. And like you say, you got back to me 5 minutes later.
Yeah. And with a, you know, a tangible reply and a response and something you could work on. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's where we share a close synergy, but also that kind of highlights for me the joys of being a concierge, and you know, the pride we take in actually delivering the requests that we get.
Brilliant. So yeah, I mean, you and I, as we were just talking about, we both share a passion for customer service. Well, probably a passion for customer excellence is probably a better way of describing it. So what do you think the secret of great service is?
I think you have to have that pride, and you have to care. Because if you haven't got either of those, you know, you're just kind of, you're ticking a box, you're going to give an answer. But if you've got that kind of innate need in you to put a smile on a guest's face, and for them to have a memory of, it's unlikely to be me as a concierge, but they'll remember my hotel, and they'll remember that, gosh, when we were in Glasgow or whichever city your concierge is, they'll remember that they wanted something and they got it, they asked for it, and it was delivered to them. And not just, you know, in a normal average way, but hopefully with whistles on. And yeah, that's what we set out to do. That's the part of the job that we enjoy. And I suppose it reflects back to your earlier question. These are what makes the, you know, an average concierge to a higher end concierge. Yeah, answer your question. It's that passion and the care and the pride in the job.
Yeah, I'm getting you 100%, and you know, it's almost like you're doing it for yourself almost, aren't you? It's, you know,
you're right. I mean, you want your guests to be happy, but you know, it's taking pride in your work and taking pride in yourself, that you can deliver. And yeah, every quest is a challenge that you want to give the best possible answer to.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that this video, the predominance of people watching this video are going to be people training to be butlers. That's going to be
Yes.
So that, I think, I hope you were all listening to what Alan was saying just there, because that is the absolute one of the most important lessons that you're ever going to learn. It's about taking pride and going beyond as far as your service. I think that's perfect what you said.
Thank you. Yeah, I think, I don't know how I can go any further than that, but it's,
I think it says
I love the job, and I love having that, I love being given these challenges kind of day in, day out. It's an opportunity to shine. It's an opportunity to meet these kind of magical memories for our guests. And I think we're in a very privileged position to be able to deliver that. You don't always get that if you're maybe working behind a bank or working in probably any other profession. So for me, it's a privilege to be able to do this job every day.
Now we're selling dreams. Well, in fact, no,
You're
we're doing better than
dreams.
that. We're making them realities. That's what we're doing.
We're making magical memories, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. So magical memories. What about magical futures? Now, I want you to get your Mystic Meg prediction hat on.
This is a big question.
What do you see the future of the hospitality industry in 2021 and beyond?
I wish I knew that one, but I would say from how I see it is that it'll be all change. And hospitality, in the most part, for how we used to know it, will all change. I think moving forward, especially until we're in a position to have a vaccine, I think guests coming to hotels are going to, first and foremost, as well as all the usual hospitality and the magical memories, I think in a lot of ways that will be put to one side for safety. First and foremost, guests want to know that they're coming into the hotel and also leaving absolutely safe. So their health and well-being will be at the pinnacle of everyone or every hotelier's minds. And I also think that the hotels that will take on this challenge and shine will be the ones who are dealing in empathy, who are looking from the guest perspective, and who can put themselves in the guest shoes and make guest needs first and foremost, front and center. We take on a big challenge, I think, when guests will begin to come back to our hotels. So it's up to each of us in our respective properties to make sure that our guests feel absolutely safe, that their well-being is at the forefront of our minds, and we all have to be singing from the same hymn sheet there, I think. But yeah, to answer your question, it's going to be huge changes. I think the corporate world is going to change. I think after however many months of businesses dealing with Zoom calls as we're doing now, why are they going to send people to different cities or countries for business when they can do this? And the knock-on effect is that hotel bedrooms are going to be less in demand.
Yeah, could conferencing be over?
And that's a lot of these businesses, they're going to be cash strapped. Let's not beat about the bush. They're going to be starting probably from 2021. We're going to be in a recession, so all the extras that they might have been sending their people away on, such as flights and hotels, I believe that is going to really they're going to struggle. So in effect, hotels and the airline will struggle too. So It's not going to be great, but I think it's an opportunity for us as hoteliers to really shine and to do what we do. You know, if we thought we were doing it right in 2019 and before, in 2021 and the end of 20, we're really going to have to step up to the challenge, and make sure our guests are, when they do come to us, that they want to come back.
And I always think that any adversity really gives the best of the best an opportunity to sort of shine out, because it kind of it weeds out the people who are freewheeling. It weeds out the ones who aren't offering the best service, because when people have got a smaller budget and they can only choose to do one thing, they're only going to do the best thing with that one thing they're going to do. So agreed. I think it's not all negative. I think there's negatives, but I think that, you know, we could all bring up our game and give people great value, and, you know, just do what we do.
Yeah. No, in a lot of ways, this is an opportunity for us to make friends for life. You know, if we can win people over under these really, you know, demanding circumstances, then it's an opportunity to make those friends for life. Mm-hmm. And you'll know yourself, those people go off and tell other people, and hopefully by word of mouth we can keep our old guests, but also make some new friends as well. So you're right, it's an opportunity. A big challenge, but a great opportunity to move forward, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think so. I think we can, you know, it's going to be hard work, but we're used to hard work, aren't we? That's nothing new.
It's hard work is meat and drink to anyone who's been in this industry for as many years as we have, I think.
So those people that hopefully we've not put anyone off. Those people who are now thinking, well, I want to do this. I want to step up my game. I like what Alan's saying. I need to learn more about it. I mean, are you going to be doing can people learn from you? Are you going to be doing lectures or training or anything like that?
I was actually due to do some training. I mentioned before with Les Clef, our congresses, I was due to deliver a training workshop in Delhi at our congress in April. Obviously, that was locked down, so I missed out there. And we did have a few kind of dates in the diary. But yeah, that will happen again, absolutely. And you and I have mentioned in the past about doing some training. I think, I'd love to do that as well. At the moment, to answer your question, there's no dates in the diary, but absolutely, I look forward to doing a number of training workshops. Hopefully by the end of this year, but if not, definitely moving forward from 2021.
Brilliant. I mean, watch this space, I suppose, is the answer to that. People should, watch this space.
Absolutely, I'm sure people will.
And
with your strong following.
Well, hopefully. So, I mean, I was going to say that people, if you are interested in that sort of thing, at the bottom of the video, there's the little comments. Please put your details or any questions like that, and we'll get back to you. And as soon as we have things like training that we can say that, everyone's able to come on, we can let you know about it. And subscribe to the channel, because if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get notifications. You can even press the little bell icon on there, so you get it through to your phone or whatever. And there'll be a lot more of this. There'll be a lot more training going on. There'll be more interviews, and then once things open up, we'll try and do some lectures, or maybe we could even do it like this. I mean, we can do this same format up to 1,000 people, it says on the Zoom. So
oh well, maybe this is the way forward. Maybe we have to set it off, this training in person does it need to be in person anymore? Maybe this is the way forward. We all have to readapt and face our challenges head on. So we have to be practical.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a new, like you said earlier, it's a new world. Everything's changed just that little bit. So anyone who's watching this who thinks, well, we'd love to do one of these big group online things, maybe we can set that up. Maybe that can be done.
Well, there's an appetite for it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, on that note, please let us know. Thank you very much.
And likewise, if anyone has any questions, or there's any way that I can help with anyone, if they're considering a career in hospitality, then let me know. I'd be delighted to help.
Wow, thank you so much. So, that's sort of the end of the interview. But was there anything else you wanted to add, or you happy with that, Alan?
No. I think we've covered a whole breadth of subjects today. But thank you for the call, and thank you for the chat. And let's do it again.
No, thank you so much for joining me. It was a great pleasure. I'm absolutely confident that everyone who watches this will also have really enjoyed hearing from you, your massive knowledge and just general, friendly demeanour. I'm sure it cheered everyone up sat at home watching. So thank you so much.
First and foremost, you have to laugh, don't you?
That's it. If you can't laugh, what can you do?
Absolutely. Right. Thanks, Simeon.
Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for watching. Please do subscribe to see more videos. Thank you. This way. So thank you for that, Alan. That's obviously I'll cut it there for the recording, but I really appreciate you coming on and having a chat like that. It's brilliant.
Well, that's all.